drift away.
It's about that time. I'm Lux, and today we're starting a new series on NBA 2K18. We are starting up on MyGM, the next chapter. I was playing this on my free time with the Orlando Magic, and I was having such a good time. I wanted to share it with you guys and kind of have you guys get involved and give me some advice and so on and so forth, but we're not going to do the Magic again. I'll let you know what we're going to do later. But for now, let's get started. MyGM, the next chapter. So, these minutes really don't matter. I'm only going to play one of every 20. So simulate 19, play one. So I'm not going to be playing a lot, so I don't think that the consistency is important here. So we're going to keep moving on. And like I said, we are not doing the Orlando Magic. We are switching it up. So let's find out who we'll be playing with. That's right, Portland Trail Blazers. I wanted to have a team that had some franchise superstars. And those players are, well, let's just look over the roster. Coming up in first is Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. These are the two pieces that I want to build this team around. I want them to be the superstar lineup of the year. I want them being like the Clay and Steph Splash Brothers. They're going to be coming up next. After them is Jurkic, Ed Davis, Shabazz Napier, Al-Farouq Aminu, Evan Turner, and some others that we really could not care less about. Important to know that Harkless is already wounded and the season hasn't even started, so that's a little worrisome, but it's time to get started. We're on our way to Portland. So I'm just going to kind of skip over this because it's super long. You play for the Dallas Maverick, you get wounded, you can't play anymore, so it's time for you to retire. But you decide you're not ready. This game is not after, so 6 years after, you come back as a GM because you think you have what it takes. So we come back as a GM for the Trailblazers. We come up to the property. We meet with Terry Stotts. We meet with Damian Lillard. They're both letting us know they used to be big fans, and they're ready to look forward for what we can do for them beginning of this year. Sorry for being late. These things happen. It's alright. Take a seat. I see you met with everybody. That's dope. Yeah, man. Just gonna kind of talk to you a little bit about things going on in my job life, like I care. So you talked to them on the way in. I did introduce myself. It's been a good time. You have plenty of time to know the team. The general manager is very impressive. Appreciate it. Talk about how good I was back in the day. Nothing great. And then we move on. The one and only, coming back from retirement to lead the Portland Trail Blazers to victory. Give it up for Winnie Luxury! So it's time for my first press conference with this team. The reporter stands up and says, what kind of changes do you want to make moving forward? I don't want to make a total rebuild. I feel like minor tweaks would probably be the best answer, and I don't want to stay where we're at. So I think minor tweaks, because we're just going to be changing a few things in the roster, and that's about it. I feel like the coaching staff is great. I feel like the playmaking is great. I feel like everything else is good. We just need to make a few minor tweaks. How do I feel about the head coach? I'm confident in what he does. If we need to change him out, it won't be for the first season anyway. So we got to make sure that we stay on his good side. Now comes the difficult part. We need to start making some trades to make this roster a little bit better. So it looks like this is going to be our first trade opportunity. By picking up Frank Kaminsky, we'll be able to put him at starting, put Al-Farouq Aminu down to the bench, and then completely get rid of Zach Collins, I believe his name was. So I feel like this is a really good pickup for the team. He's not super expensive. We'll have him for 2 years. He's still relatively young. This is our best bet. Plus, we're giving away garbage. 2 69 overall players that we were never going to use anyway. This is a good call. Frank Kaminsky, welcome to the team. Okay, so for our second trade, this was hard, and I'm still kind of thinking over it because we're giving away 2 garbage players, so almost no matter what, it's a win, right? So we have a chance of picking up David West, who would replace Al-Farouq Aminu, and Zaza Pachulia, who would replace Myers Leonard. That's our first option. Our second option, same players, we add a second round pick 2 or 3 years from now, not a huge deal, and we could pick up Buddy Hield. Young, cheap, good at ready to play. He'll be taking up the place of P. McCaw, whoever the fuck that is. I feel like he can really carry the bench in a big way. It's a hard decision because this way we can have a bench carry. The other way, we'll have 2 bench supports, and then we have 2 players we can trade. We can then trade Myers Leonard and Al-Farouq Aminu for some new players, some new positions. I think that's going to be my best bet. As much as I would love to have Buddy Hield on the team, I feel like it just makes more sense to take David West and Zaza Pachulia. Like I said, it's all about the trading at this point. We're going to have 2 more players that we can trade, and maybe we'll be able to pick up Buddy with those other trades. This is our best bet. Trade number 2. It's completed. Alright, so this is the second trade I'm going to try to go for. Al-Farouq Aminu and Myers Leonard for Buddy Hield and Nigel Hayes. Hopefully they'll go for it. You're asking me to give away a valuable asset, Buddy Hield, with none of these assets I get seem nearly as valuable. That's not happening. Okay, so let's throw in some second round picks and see if that helps. Still feeling the same way, I see. Let's see if he wants the rest of these second hand picks. If not, then we might have to let this one slide. Nope, he doesn't want it. That's okay. I understand. Not a big deal. We'll move on. Okay, so looks like our third trade. We had Ed Davis, who unfortunately I overlooked a few times. Didn't even know he was on the team, but he is still one of the lowest centers because of Jokic Nurkic and Zaza Pachulia. So what we can do is if we trade him in a second round pick we don't really care about right now, we could pick up Bellinelli for a year. Now Bellinelli's not great, but he's better than whatever his name is, Coughton. He's quite a bit better. He's only 1.4 million, 76 overall, versus 1.4 million, 73 overall. So our only difference is we gain 3 overall, which I feel like will be a big deal. So that's why I'm going to go ahead with this trade. I feel like it's pretty worth. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or not. Boom, there it is. Alright, so next trade. Al-Farouq Aminu and Pat McCaw, second round pick a few years from now. And we can get Thabo Sefolosha. 5.2 million just for the year, 77 overall. He would be replacing Maurice Harkless. So he's pretty much 3 million less and 4 overall better. I feel like that's a great trade. We're going to go ahead and take it. Thabo, welcome to the team. Okay, so it looks like that's all the trades I'm going to make right now. I was trying to get rid of Evan Turner, but I really didn't have enough pieces to fill in that position, so we're just going to have to take the loss. Evan Turner coming off the bench, just not being great. So let's go over the game plan, the roster in its entirety. Okay, so I haven't inserted the minutes yet. I'm going to do that after, but just so you can take a look at the team. On the starters, Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Thabo Sefolosha, Frank the Tank Kaminsky, and Yusuf Nurkic. On the bench, we have Shabazz Napier, Marco Bellinelli, Evan Turner, David West, and Zaza Pachulia. So you guys let me know, is this team better or worse? I'm going to go ahead and fill in the minutes. Okay, for the minutes, you can pause it if you'd like. I'm not really going to go over it in too much detail. You can just kind of take a look. These are what the minutes are going to look like. Alright guys, so that's going to be the end of this video. In the next one, we're going to start playing some games. We're going to sim 19 and then play 1. So, thank you for viewing and subscribing. And remember to stay luxurious.